This is Bob Sansevere here with Pioneer Press Vikings reporter when they actually play, Jeremy Fowler, and Pioneer Press deputy sports editor John Pluym. Now, Jeremy, I talked last week to Leslie Frazier, and he was pointing out they'd be in the midst of OTAs. You know, he would have had several mini camps by now. What I'm thinking is, and John and I have talked about this, the players or the people hurt the most are these free agents coming out of college. They may never have a chance to make an NFL team. And, you know, if this happened when John Randall came out, he may never have played football. What do you see as the biggest ripple effect of this lockout and how it's going to impact not just these college free agents, but the players like the veterans? I mean, there's guys that may never play again because their careers could be over based on this lockout. It's a wide-reaching deal, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. There's so many anecdotes out there. You take a guy like Pat Williams, who turns 39 during the season. You know, how long can he wait before they have a year? You take a guy like Ray Edwards.
Well, he's got 4 games he's losing anyway.
Right, exactly. You got a guy like Ray Edwards who's sitting here waiting, trying to box in his spare time. So what does he do? You know, Mark Herzlich from Boston College, before he got cancer, could have been a top pick, goes undrafted. He's faithful that he can make a team, but he's just got to sit there and wait. You just never know. Those guys are greatly impacted right now.
Now, John, what do you see? The NFL has a contingency plan to actually shorten the season almost in half. Do you see it going? I frankly think it could go into the season, and nothing will be resolved until these guys start feeling the pain of not having a paycheck.
I mean, I think it'll end up going to October before they actually do anything. And I think there's a plan out there where they can go into October, still play 16 games. They'd have to cancel all the bye weeks, cancel the Pro Bowl, cancel the week between the Super Bowl. There's a lot of fluff space in there for the NFL to still get a full season in. But the problem is you're only going to get a 2-week training camp, which goes back to what you were talking about earlier. If you're a team with a rookie coach like a Leslie Frazier or Ron Rivera in Carolina, and you've got a young quarterback, Cam Newton, Christian Ponder, trying to install an offense in 2 weeks, it's just not going to happen, which takes you back to what the Vikings apparently are discussing now is who do you bring in for a veteran quarterback? And if you try and do something like that, do you have to make a trade? Donovan McNabb, do you give up a 3rd or 4th round pick as soon as the lockout ends, or do you wait it out and wait for them to release him? Or do you just roll the dice and say, hey, we're going to go with Ponder, we'll see what happens, and if we tank, we tank?
Well, Jeremy, you're rolling the dice by bringing a veteran in because there's no chemistry or synergy with the players that are existing. I almost think you almost roll the dice with a Ponder because bringing a veteran is it's no guarantee when you don't have time to work. The other thing, I kind of like the idea of let's start the NFL season all the time in October and have them report September 1st for training camp. Give them a month, boom, you're done.
Well, the problem is that you with a young quarterback, like John said, I mean, you can't just roll him in there. I guess, Ponder has a playbook, but there's only so much you can do without live action. So, one option might even be Joe Webb, since he's not a veteran, but if you bring a veteran, it's going to take, 2 weeks of training camp? I just don't know if that's enough time. Or at least Webb played a little bit last year in a similar offense. He might be your most, quote, veteran option at this point, depending on what time that Frazier has. He's in a bad spot.
But it's also an entirely different coordinator with a different playbook. Now, things may be similar, but it is a different coordinator, so it's not, Joe Webb's comfort level may not be high. The one thing I wanted to also talk about is a lot of teams, some teams are having big turnouts for practices because there's no veteran quarterback to organize them. The Vikings they're one of the teams that are getting nothing out of workouts. So it's not like they're getting a leg up on anything.
Well, here's the thing with that, though. How hard are these guys really working in these workouts? When you have a coaching staff, you've got 20 coaches on the field. Yeah, they're going to be pushing these guys, and you've got the whole installation period where you're installing offense, and you've got a coach telling a rookie where to go, and here's how this play looks. This is what we're looking for on this. I want a 3-step with a hitch here. I want a 5-step.
You're missing the point here. Much like with podcasts, it's a bonding experience,
and maybe it is. And it proved it out with Ponder. Ponder lays down his own money to do this workout, and none of the veteran players show up. Now, if it's Donovan McNabb, if he's already a member of this team, all 5 of those guys show up. It basically says they have no respect for him because he's never done anything. And in the end, when they get into the season, if it's a rookie quarterback behind John Sullivan, I don't know. I think they're in for a few ups and downs with the Vikings. Whereas a veteran team like the Packers and the Bears, and even the Lions are in a better situation than the Vikings are right now.
Although the Vikings are a little bit of a bad spot because nobody really lives in Minnesota in the offseason.
Yeah.
And the guys that do, they're kind of here working out in their own little groups. I wonder if Ponder did it here. At least he could have got maybe Greenway and some of those guys to show up. But, the Packers, they're not really working out right now, and I don't think they're going to be any less of a team next year because they're not working out together.
Well, and maybe things will work out the next time we have a podcast. Thank you, gentlemen.